Is this Lionel's last great starter set? We're going to find out in today's video. Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Matt.
Ben.
And that's Ben. And today we are reviewing Lionel's Great Northern Ready to Run starter set. Is this the last great starter set that Lionel ever made? We're going to get into it. So first of all, Ben, this is your first Lionel starter set.
Yes.
What do you think of it?
Good.
He thinks it's great. He thinks it's pretty great. He loves steam. Do you love steam? Do you like steam more than diesel?
Diesel's also good.
Diesel's also good, he says. But you like steam because you like the steam effect, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he likes to watch the smoke puffing out of the units. And that's what this one has, along with a lot of other great features. So we're going to get into that right now. Let's take a moment to take a look at the locomotive and cars. With this set, you get a Great Northern steam locomotive. This is a 280. I think personally steam and O-gauge, I think that's really where the sweet spot of the hobby is. Steam locomotives look really nice and big and impressive. You get to show off the detail, and of course there's the steam feature that comes with them that I think in O-gauge looks much better than an HO or any other scale smaller than that, for that matter. Steam locomotives kind of at this size in a starter set are getting a little rare anymore. You know, to have the 2 pilot wheels along with 4 drivers is a little rare in starter sets. Now the 2 pilot wheels are cool. They make the locomotive look larger, but I have found on switches and that kind of thing that those pilot wheels can kind of pop off the tracks, and then you short out your track. You know, it's something that I deal with on my HO scale layout as well. So not unique to Lionel or starter sets. And I can certainly see why some of the newer starter sets are not including locomotives that have those pilot wheels anymore. But this locomotive has them. This locomotive also has separately applied handrails. That's something that is most of the other steam starter sets don't have that. So to have these kind of nice metal separately applied handrails there is really excellent. Looks like this is a separately applied detail as well. Overall, just very pretty. Paint application is fine. Some of these colors I'm not so sure are super accurate. Everyone kind of talks about how Lionel has a problem with green. For a starter set, I think it looks good. There are these kind of like scratches and stuff in the paint that came in the box that way. My guess it has something to do with the way that it was packaged, and then just the paint rubbing against the packaging caused that to happen. I have a different steam locomotive, a Lionel LionChief 2.0 locomotive that doesn't have that problem with the paint application. But overall, very pretty. This locomotive has nice sound. It has nice horn, bell, and then crew talk.
Dispatch, this is Great Northern 1147, waiting on the signal to depart.
And you can see this is locomotive specific crew talk as well. So this is 1147, and the crew was talking about 1147 is ready to depart. So that's really kind of cool.
We're loaded up and ready to depart. Are we cleared onto the main?
A bunch of different crew talk in this thing. So it's nice. I will say that once this thing is kind of moving at speed, you know, your track work is a little loud. The cars are loud going over the track work. That crew talk kind of gets drowned out a little bit, but it's kind of cool. The smoke feature is here. It puffs smoke with the chuff sound that the locomotive makes, which is really nice. It's a little underwhelming in comparison with, say, a LionChief 2.0 locomotive. You know, their smoke, it's just, you don't get a lot of it. Let's take a look at the cars. One other thing I'll note is there's not a whole lot of like really slow moving on the locomotive. So what I mean is this is about as slow as your locomotive will move, which is it's not bad. It's pretty slow. It jerks a little bit starting up and coming to a stop, but it's not bad. You can see the smoke plumes. Certainly much better than the Menards locomotives. Menards locomotives are kind of have like an on or off. there's not really a way to kind of slow down, really slow and crawl on this Menards locomotive. So it's nice to have something like that in this one. All right, let's talk about the cars. This comes with 2 cars and a caboose. The cars themselves are pretty good. Molded in details, doors open on this one. You know, for a starter set, I think it's great, honestly. And if you have a young kid, you don't really want a lot of those separately applied details. You do have a separately applied brake wheel here, but everything else is pretty much molded on. The one advantage that Lionel cars have over, say, a Menards car are the couplers are much nicer construction, and the wheels roll a little bit freer and nicer as well. And on a small starter set, something like this, that's something you really want to look for. The Menards cars have a tendency to want to uncouple themselves and just not stay coupled right out of the box, and there's not a lot to do to fix that, unfortunately. So to have cars that work and operate very well out of the box, roll well, couple well, is just a great thing. I love the colors on this Great Northern car too. All the cars in the set are nice and muted and kind of realistic, which is nice. So here's a hopper. It's got a load of, I don't know, some sort of bagged goods. The load does come out, which is nice because my son likes to load up his action figures in there to kind of run them around the layout. Again, same with the other one, molded in details, not a ton of detail here, but your couplers and your trucks work great, and that is, in something like this, the most important part. Caboose I'm pretty impressed by. It looks nice. It's great. I love cabooses, obviously. Great way it's great to have a train that has a caboose with it. And it's also great in that this is a lighted caboose, and the light looks nice. It's nice and bright. You can see it really well. Having a lighted caboose at the end of your train, I think, is really kind of fun and wonderful, and great to see in a starter set like this. So along with the controller, you do have the ability to power your locomotive using the LionChief app. And I think this is actually a pretty good system overall. There's a lot of features in the app itself that aren't available with the controller, just to help improve the experience. Now, connecting to the app is really simple. All you gotta do is turn the power on. The headlight will flash and you'll hear a little beeping sound, and this is just the locomotive telling you that it's not connected to anything right now. It doesn't see the remote because it's flipped to off and it hasn't been connected to your app. To connect it to your app, all you gotta do is just click on this little picture right here, and your locomotive will pop up among the available options. So you can just click on that, click your connect button, and you are connected. And you can pull the locomotive forward. Reverse. Blow the horn. Bell. And all the crew talk.
Dispatch, this is Great Northern 1147, waiting on a signal to depart.
If your locomotive comes equipped with electro couplers, these are sort of couplers that kind of work, remotely. You can access those there. This one doesn't have that. And then there's some additional options here in the sound menu here. You can adjust the pitch of your horn. Your bell. You can adjust the volume of all this stuff too, so if you don't like how loud the bell is, you can turn it off or turn it down low. And then also your steam kind of sounds as well, you can turn that lower if you want as well. Although when it's rolling down the track, it's kind of hard to hear any of this stuff if the volume isn't turned all the way up. There's an overall volume knob, so if you want to turn everything down or off completely, if that gets annoying to you after a while, you do have the ability to do that there. You can also record a live recording in order to play back. So, for example, here I've got one recorded on here.
Next stop, Newport.
That's kind of fun. Or you can record your own settings right here. Ben, you want to record something? Okay, ready?
Yes.
Go.
Leaving the station. Leaving the station.
The speaker overall works really well, and the volume level on it is a little bit low, but I think it works really well, and Ben has a lot of fun with it, don't you, Ben?
Yes.
Additionally, you can control this thing via voice command. So hit this little button right here. Go forward. Stop. Reverse. Doesn't like reverse. How about go backward?
Go backwards.
Go backward.
Go.
Stop. So a little finicky, but if you have accessibility issues, I think something like this is a really great feature. I'm glad they've added it to the app. Inside the box, you also get FastTrack. FastTrack is Lionel's sectional track system. Each of these little sections kind of snap together to make a nice oval of track. You get 4 straight sections, enough curved track to make your oval with. FastTrack is, honestly, I think it looks pretty great. It's got the molded in plastic road bed there. The rails themselves are shorter in height than the rails on, say, like tubular track like this. Overall, I think it's a very decent looking track. A lot of people like this quite a bit, and they make their large permanent layouts using Lionel's FastTrack system. Some people don't like it. They say it's too loud, and certainly that can be a problem. This plastic ballast base here kind of acts as like a resonating chamber to increase the volume of the trains running over the top. So your trains will be very loud on something like this as compared to maybe something like tubular track. I'm using tubular track on this layout for reasons we'll get into in another video. But I would say with the limited experience I have with FastTrack, I think it looks good. I think the scale ties really help make your locomotives look bigger and more impressive. Which is nice, and people seem to like it a whole lot. The only major downside I would say would be that it can be loud, and that switches for the FastTrack system are very expensive. But we'll get into all that in a different video when we talk about why I chose tubular track over the FastTrack. If you're just getting in and you really like the look of FastTrack, I think you're fine with that. And it's really great that you do get a good amount of FastTrack as a way to start out in the starter set. Let's wrap things up today by talking about price and why this set and sets like this are going to be Lionel's last great toy train sets. So MSRP on this particular one I think was $450. I got Santa delivered this for Christmas, but if Santa were to say go on Amazon, Santa could find this set brand new for $250. That's a pretty big discount. And looking on the internet today, I am seeing other similar starter sets to this one in right about that range. $250 to $300, I think, is the range where I'm finding some of this stuff. You have to go looking for it, but it's out there. And so at $450, I think, if you were to go out in the store, you see one for $450, I think it's worth picking up. At $250, it's a no-brainer because the Menards set that I reviewed last year, which you can find the review in my channel, I think I also paid $250 for that, and I thought that was a pretty good price for that at that time. But what you're getting with Lionel, it's just much nicer. The locomotives themselves are nicer. The cars themselves are nicer. The track is nicer. The remote is nicer. Let's talk about this remote. This is the big reason why these sets are like the last of the great sets by Lionel, because it appears that from now on Lionel will not be packaging the remote as part of the starter set. They're going to ask you to go ahead and just download the app and use your phone to run these things from now on. Now there is a remote that you can buy separate as a separate add-on that will work with multiple locomotives. Your starter set locomotives, your LionChief 2.0 locomotives. So the remote can grow with you as a hobbyist. It's an additional $50 add-on. And I would recommend, here's the thing. So for me personally, the reason why I'm in the hobby as a model railroader and the reason why I built this layout for my son was to get away from the phones and the tablets and the games and all that kind of thing, right? And so, yes, it's cool to be able to run your stuff using your phone and your tablet, but there's already enough of that out there. I wanted something physical, tangible, you know, find a way to play with electronics and toys and things in a way that doesn't involve the phone. And that for me is what is magical about model railroading. And so to have a remote in your hand, something physical with physical buttons that you can click and physical knobs that you can turn, is an important component in this hobby, and it sucks to see that it's going away in these starter sets. That being said, not the end of the world. The app works great, and if the controller is not a big deal for you, you don't need it. If it is a big deal for you, it's an additional $50, which, you know, it's just another thing you have to buy. So if you are considering getting into the hobby, I would say get in now while these sets with these remotes are still available, because you know, it's 2026. Any company has to find ways to cut costs in 2026, right? Lionel is not immune to that, and you know, some of their newer sets are coming with fewer cars. They're coming without the remotes. They're coming without locomotives that have nice handrails and other details like that. They're getting a little more plasticky kind of in the look and feel. And that's what makes something like this the last of Lionel's great toy train sets. Well, everyone, thanks for stopping by and checking out this video. As you can see, we really do like this set quite a bit. These sets that are a couple years old now that still come with the remote, if you can find those guys, if you can find them for a really good price, we do suggest picking them up because they're really awesome. They're a great way to start to get into the hobby, and I can highly recommend it. Thanks for everyone stopping by and checking out this video. And Ben, why don't you say goodbye?
Bye.
See you guys.